Good morning and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook, where we take a look at headlines about things that are happening in our city, in our state, in our country, culture, society, anything that comes to our mind that helps us improve the quality of life for us living here in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English-speaking locals. We throw into the mix your comments, your topics, your suggestions, your ideas, so that we can have a jolly old time, at least for a few minutes, every morning, except for Sundays. We now take Sundays off. If this is the first time that you're joining us, you're more than welcome to chime in, get your favorite beverage. These days, it's iced coffee and headlines for me because of the weather. But if you're new, let us know by writing the word new in your comment, and we'll be so very happy to welcome you. And of course, oh, silly Monday. Of course, if you have important things that you wish to share during the broadcast, add the letter Q to the beginning of your comment. And oh my God, Carmen is in the house. Carmen Porras is in the house. I'm going to very quickly ask Carmen for permission to say that we had a wonderful adventure together. I'm not going to say what it was or where it was, because I know that Carmen wants to keep things... well, let's just say that Carmen has been busy coming up with some new wonderful projects. Today we have all kinds of news that have to do with COVID-19, airlines, vaccines and airports, Miss Universe, you name it. And of course, when we get to our chit chat, I'm itching to show you what I did this weekend. So let's just get started with our news. And of course, we push the button. Of course, we push the buttons. We start today with our update from Governor Alfaro regarding COVID-19. Here's what he had to say. He was short and brief, but this is because it's all good news. Once more, the co-responsibility with which we have challenged the pandemic is reflected in the Jalisco COVID-19 numbers for this week. General occupancy in hospitals went from 7.3 to 5.8%. In intensive care units, it went from 12.5 to 11.5. And the positivity in the official Radar Jalisco tests went down to 4.9%. In addition, the maximum general occupancy in all the regions of Jalisco went down to 6.6%. Little by little, with solidarity, we are le estamos dando la vuelta al panorama. Okay, we're shifting the, oh my gosh, how do I translate this? Little by little, with solidarity, we're turning things around as far as the sanitary emergency, but we are far from crying victory. We know how to look after ourselves. Let us not drop our guards. How to translate these things. Sometimes, I love reading in Spanish and then immediately translating in English simultaneously, but every now and then some kind of colloquialism will stumble me. So I'm glad I was able to survive that. Let me show you the graphs that Governor Alfaro showed us. Here is once again the general occupancy in hospitals, 5.8% in general occupancy, 11.5% in intensive care units. Here's the occupation by region. Our region, Puerto Vallarta, is down to 5.5%. And look at how low some of the numbers are and how some of the regions in the state don't even show COVID cases right now. That's wonderful. Occupation in public hospitals continues to dwindle down through time, as we can look at this chart. And the same thing happens with occupancy of intensive care unit beds. And as far as the number of people that test positive through the official outlet, the number is very, very low. Out of 100 people, only 4.9 people. 4.9 people. I wonder what happens with that 0.1. 4.9 people test positive. That is a super, super low number. In terms of active cases in the state of Jalisco, through time, the number continues to come down. And same thing for people that have been hospitalized. So all these numbers are looking good. We're doing good, guys. Pruebas diarias. This is the daily tests performed by Radar Jalisco. And the numbers, again, are shifting, but the numbers continue to look down if you look at the overall shape of this graph. Let's see what else we have. That's all that we have as far as Governor Alfaro is concerned. So it's all good news, but of course we know what that means. It means that we need to continue to be mindful doing what we're supposed to be doing. In other news, approximately 350 schools in Puerto Vallarta reopened their doors this morning in order to bring parents and students up to speed with the next school year, which will begin in the fall. All schools will continue to work regular hours from now on and focus on enrollment and also to assess any infrastructure needs that need to be resolved prior to the return to classes, which again will happen in the fall. But it's nice to see that we're headed in that general direction. In other news, this weekend, Mexico received a new shipment with 35,000 CanSino vaccines, along with the necessary elements. In Spanish, we call them biológicos. In English, I don't know what we would call them, but with all the necessary tchotchkes for Mexico to be able to bottle 290,000 additional vaccines at a pharmaceutical lab in Querétaro. This brings the total number of vaccines from different pharmaceutical labs shipped to Mexico to date to a whopping 24,744,945 vaccines. We're moving right along. There are other countries that are further ahead with their vaccination strategy. We are doing fine. We are getting there. One more item that I want to share with you before we switch over to the weather. The CDC has determined that fully vaccinated people in the United States do not have to wear masks indoors or out. But what if you're planning to fly? And I don't mean hop on flight 420 like I did this weekend. Here is a useful article in English I found on Yahoo this morning that will help you understand why you still have to mask up at airports and planes in case you are planning on traveling. And of course, after the fold, we are going to talk about more airline-related news that I'm going to hold on to for a little while. Let me switch gears and dive over to the weather. Snarky Weather says, you don't even want to know what I did with all those clouds. Well, I don't want to know either. Hopefully, Snarky Weather just packed them with rain, which is sorely needed around here. Although I keep hearing reports that it's starting to sprinkle here and there. I haven't seen any sprinklage, although, sprinkling happens at night at this time of year, so I usually am in bed. But enough chit-chat, at least for the time being. Our temperature is 27 degrees Celsius, feels like 28. Humidity is a little lower than yesterday, 57%, and our temperature in Fahrenheit is 81%. Weather forecast, clear through the day for today, high temperature 31, low temperature 21. Tomorrow, Tuesday, we can expect another clear day with a high temperature of 30, low temperature of 21. And on Wednesday, we can expect a clear day with a high temperature of 30, low temperature of 20. Not bad at all. Let's see what else is next. Lisa has an interesting question, but I'm going to wait until we're done with our news. I still have a couple of things that I want to show you, starting with this news item from AeroMexico, one of Mexico's two leading airlines for many years, is coming back from Chapter 11 and positioning itself as a leading competitor in the so-called low-cost airline market, providing passengers with more options when it comes to prices and services. If you ask me what is the difference between low-cost airline and all the other ones, I really don't know, but I suppose this means that AeroMexico is hoping to expand its options more so in the domestic flight market rather than the international one. So this might be a good time to keep an eye on their offerings. Although at present time, I did a quick search on their website, the airline does not have many offerings, regardless of whether you're departing from Puerto Vallarta or Mexico City. It often happens with Mexican airlines that if you want to fly anywhere within the country, you have to first fly to a larger hub like Guadalajara or Mexico City for many options. I looked at the AeroMexico website this morning, and the only options from Puerto Vallarta or from Mexico City was to fly to New York City, Barcelona, or Monterrey. So it's not a lot of things to choose from, but hopefully, again, they will continue to add to their palette of flights, and we will be able to explore more of Mexico at a lower price. I also want to let you know that Miss Mexico was crowned Miss Universe last night in Florida, making the competition's return to television after the pageant was postponed in 2020 due to the coronavirus pandemic. 26-year-old Andrea Mesa finished first ahead of the Brazilian and Peruvian finalists. I think she's from Chihuahua. I may have read that somewhere in an article this morning. There were a lot of articles about this, obviously. She beat more than 70 contestants from around the globe. And while the competition has drawn criticism in the past for objectifying the contestants, in recent years it has shifted image, focusing more on female empowerment and activism. Yay, Mexico, but not yay Mexico, yay her. Andrea Mesa, I hope that she will use this platform to really empower other women. And I'm glad to read that these pageants are less and less about just beauty and more about talent and skill set and so forth. And I have one more last minute thing that I wish to share with you in case you happen to be an Hotel Maito or Hotel Maito. I get confused with the pronunciation of it. Maito or Maito. Hotel Maito, which is located in Cabo Corrientes, is a favorite of many of us. And right now, I spotted this on their Facebook page. They are creating a program in which if you buy a minimum of 30 nights at the hotel that are good for the next 5 years, you get an amazing price. It's not uncommon for hotels or other services to offer prepayment in their offerings. So if you've loved this beautiful hotel in Cabo Corrientes and you are a fan, you may want to consider giving them a call just to get more information about what this is about. You purchase a minimum of 30 nights, you use them within the next 5 years, and you get a better price according to the season and according to the type of room that you wish to reserve. And these are, of course, the news that I have for you. Now is a good time for us to shift over to chit-chat mode and see what you are up to, what you've been up to. I want to know what you did this weekend. I'm going to show you what I did with my weekend. If you want to see what I did with my weekend, I spent a lot of time crocheting. I was a hooker all weekend long. If you want to see what I did, I have it ready to show, but I would not want to burden you with what I do. So let us focus in on what you did first and foremost, and what you're up to. Dave says it's Looney Lunes. I love it. I like that. Looney Lunes. I love that. Rita is here visiting us. I saw that Rita, I don't know if you follow her on Facebook, but she has a fabulous cabin up north somewhere. I don't know where, but she is. She and her spouse are putting it up on Airbnb or one of those websites where you can rent the cabin, and it's beautiful, beautiful, a beautiful cabin in the mountains, in the forest. I don't know exactly where it is, but I wish I could go there, Rita. When I saw it, I thought that would be a good place to hide. And Crochet. Let's see what else is going on. There's a lot of hellos to all of you. Trucha Danzante is watching from outer space. Good for you. I spent a lot of time in outer space this weekend because, along with spending time with my yarn and my hooks, I decided to rewatch the first season of For All Mankind, which is a fascinating series available on Apple TV, which poses the premise of the show is what would have happened if Russia had been first on the moon? What would have happened if the race between Russia and the United States continued to date? So it's an alternative telling of the story. If Russia had sent the first woman astronaut in space, if Russia had landed on the moon first, and I'm just loving watching this right now. It again, like the Americans, it with what's going on around the world, it gives new context to the series. But I'm rambling. Don't let me do that. Den, it's great to see you. I miss you and Kathy, but I hope you're having a good time up north. Carmen, again, it's great to see you, and it was great to spend some time with you yesterday. All I'm going to tell you about Carmen Porras and El Arrayan is she and her wife Claudia are up to a new, fascinating, exciting project. And if you ever visited El Arrayan, you know that Carmen and Claudia know how to put together a successful enterprise, and something wonderful is coming. I'm going to leave it at that. Michael watched the dance of the 41. That's great to hear. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's see what else. Mushi likes the COVID numbers. I love the COVID numbers, but they make me worried. I'm a worrisome person, and I just hope that the numbers don't come back up. And again, I've been really anxious over the fact that the vaccines are supposed to be around the corner, and there's still no announcements in Puerto Vallarta for vaccines for the 50 to 59 age group, which I proudly am a part of. And I'm just hoping it's all going to be over. Lisa asked, with all my years coming to Mexico, I have never asked this to any of my national friends. Ooh, I'm a first. Could you explain to me the two last names that nationals use? My assumption is that the first last name is dad's and the second is mom's. That is correct. That makes my full name Francisco Javier Ojeda Gonzalez. Francisco and Paco, well, Paco is to Francisco what Bill is to William. It's the standard nickname. Javier is my middle name, or Xavier. And of course, Ojeda was my father's last name, Gonzalez my mother's last name. It gets trickier when you decide to marry someone, because let's say that Michael, who is flirtatious with me despite the fact that he's married, and I'm flirtatious with him because I can, Michael Young. If Michael and I decided to get married and I was the girl, I would become Paco Ojeda de Young, which means that I belong to him, whatever. If Michael decided to fight me on this and he decided, oh, no, I'm going to be the girl, then Michael's last name would become Michael Young de Ojeda. So that is a little bit of the rigmarole you go through with the last names. Again, the general rule in Mexico is you wear your father's last name first and then your mother's, and then when you get married, everything happens, or anything happens. I know that in English, or at least in the United States, is different things. I used to have a friend that her first name was Virginia, her last name was Cox, and then she went on to marry a man whose last name was Burns. And you know how things got. I mean, it just got complicated, and I'm not telling a joke. That's exactly the way it went. Let's see what else we have. Mexican women are beautiful indeed. Absolutely. Lots of congratulations for Miss Mexico, who said that in the competition, they have to wear a traditional outfit. She said that she wore, I've seen photos of her wearing this huge alebrije um, um, outfit that she said weighed 40 kilos. That's heavy. That's heavy. I would ask my speaker what it is, but it is heavy. Matthew, good morning. It's always great to see you. You're the second person. Oh my God, look at the cast. You're the second person that recommends Halston to me. Halston is a new series that just appeared on Netflix. Thank you very much for that. I'll definitely take a look at it. Let's see. Ewan McGregor. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name properly, but I remember one time he is in the title role. I remember one time I went to Punta Mita to photograph a house for Vallarta Lifestyles, and just as the crew that I was directing and I walked in, there was a lovely Ewan McGregor packing his bags and getting ready to leave, and it was nice to see him in person. Anyhow, Michael says, need to get there one day to Maito. Great promo, but what a great cash injection. Yes, it's a beautiful place, beautiful place. Anna wants to see my crochet projects. I'll get to them as soon as I get with your comments. I have them sitting right here, just in case any one of you wanted to see them. Let's see. Kathleen also saw Rita's cabin on Facebook. It is beautiful. There you go. Maybe we should throw a big crash party over there. Let's see what else. Let's see what else. Oh, it's in the Pocono. Where is the accent on that word? Poconos? Poconos? I'm not sure. I think it's on the first syllable, but it is in Pennsylvania. It is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. If anybody is up in Pennsylvania where the mummers live, feel free to talk to Rita about this. Let's see what is going on. Dave says, hopefully El Arrayan does. Let me just say, it's better than El Arrayan Uno. Carmen and Claudia, can't wait to see what you're up to. Well, they are going to announce it when they see it fit, but I am just so proud to be their friends and to know what's going on. Oh, Michael, I would belong to you. Oh, that's lovely. And Joey says that he is the Karashur, which is Isaac's last name. This is lovely. I think that is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. What else? What else? Dun, 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 dun. None of my married Mexican female friends have taken their husbands' names. It's a matter of choice. Thank you, Matthew. Poconos. See how wonderful to have a written accent in Spanish because it helps clarify these questions. I love it. Sex Education on Netflix is very, very funny. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyhow, you want to see what I've been up to this weekend? I will show you. Well, I've decided I don't want to have more than 2 projects going on at the same time because then I end up not finishing anything. So this weekend I advanced on my very convenient wine-carrying chingaderas, whose only purpose, let me clarify, and yes, this bottle was full when I started and then it became empty. The only purpose for this thing is not to saunter around the city having a jug of wine available just in case. The purpose, in my mind, is when you get invited to a dinner party, you want to just have a decent way to present your gift. Of course, you're not going to give everybody the crochet chingadera. The crochet chingadera goes back into my MERS so that I can get invited to other dinner parties. But then again, I'm also thinking Christmas presents. Anyhow, I have 2 of these. I have gifted one to a friend. I have 2 of these. And where is the photo that I want to show you? I can find it in a minute. Hold on. Here it is. I have the standard size and I have the magnum size. because I love shopping for magnums at Costco. I love that FYI wine. So that is one of the things that I was doing this weekend. And then, of course, I have been working on this ginormous shopping bag, which is large enough to fit a couple of horny possums and a kilo of marijuana. And it's pretty big, and it just wraps around you. And I'm intending to put all kinds of chingaderas in it next time I go to market. Um, so that is what has kept me busy this weekend. So what I've been doing is watching a lot of For All Mankind and sitting at my dining room table, which is not used for dining much anymore. It's kind of like my yarn station, and here we are. Let me take a look at some of your comments in this section. Hold on just a second. I see love it. Thank you very much. Great idea for wine bottles. Well, the projects that I found online are for like water bottles, of course, but it's more fun when you put wine in them, if you ask me. Let's see. Sell them at the Saturday market. There's a problem with that, Mushi, and it's a fundamental problem. And I speak from experience. I crochet to relax. I crochet to have fun. I crochet to focus on my ideas. The moment I turn crochet into a business, then it stops being the relaxation experience that I look for. And this has happened to me before. I do a lot of paper crafting, and I've sold at the market. But when you wake up on a Monday thinking, okay, how much do I have to make in terms of things to sell this week so that I can have enough chingaderas to sell on Saturday, then it stops being fun and it starts being more like a punishment. And I would never want that. Terry has a blanket that started crocheting as a kid. Still move it with me. Good for you. Let's see. Albert says better for raicilla. Hey, as long as the size of the bottle is standard size, you're good to go. Let's see. Kate says, are they difficult to make? If you're talking about the water bottle chingadera, it's all a bunch of double crochets, which is really fun. If you're a crocheter, I'll be happy to share where the inspiration for this came from. If you're talking about the bag is even simpler. It's just a bunch of half doubles, and that's it. I saw it on a project on YouTube, and I figured I want that for myself. Carmen loves the cute crochet wine cozies. All I'm saying is hashtag Christmas presents. Let's see what else. Luna would look cute in your big bag. Oh, she's tried to lay on top of it because she has to lay on top of everything I do. But we're not going to let her because she's shedding, of course, this time of year. Possums and a kilo. Well, that's the first thing. That's the first thing that came to mind, Veronica. What can I tell you? 2 possums and a kilo of dope. I love it. Paco, Bodeguita, Versalles. These are really beautiful and of course sellable. I know they're sellable, Rita. But again, I'm fortunate that I have, thanks to you, I have my income handled for the most part, and I am so very happy to look forward to sitting down with my hook to relax. So I don't know that it's going to become an enterprise. And plus, I was at what is it called? At Arte Viviente the other day. We walked around and we saw the prices on those crochet pieces, and they were priced not well. At the time, I said they look so expensive, and it's not that they are expensive. It's just that it takes a lot of man hours to make. And I find, and I could be wrong, that in general, people tend to not appreciate as much the time and effort taken to do something by hand. So, I'm going to continue to do it for fun, and we'll see what happens with that. Let's see. Angelica says, what is happening? Nothing. And then I can see you now. What I think is happening is you may have had a little drop on your internet signal, but we're here. But not for long. I think this is a good time to wrap up our program for today. As always, I hope you had a good time. I hope you will start your week to a good week. And I hope you'll stay kind, stay safe, keep wearing those face masks, keep taking care of yourselves. If you've been vaccinated already, count your blessings and be kind and mindful of those of us that are still waiting. So there you have it. And last but not least, please stay in touch. Hopefully, I'll see you again tomorrow for Taco Tuesday. And if not tomorrow, hopefully, I'll see you again soon. Have a great day.